Coming up, it's a creepy, empty space for a reason. Join us as we dissect Backrooms. Stay tuned. Welcome to The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. And we are your host, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. Tex, how you doing today, buddy? What's up?
Howdy, everybody. Howdy, Arturo. Backrooms. This is a big one for a lot of reasons, right? This is, we've got a lot of horror this month. We've had some great stuff. Please go check out our Obsession review because it's kind of set the really high bar for not only horror, but for movies this year. And most importantly, or most fun in the conversation, for these young, super young directors. We've got Kane Parsons making his directorial debut, a 20-year-old kid who basically made a short about this whole Backrooms thing online, released it on YouTube, and it ballooned from there and is now a full feature film, A24 distributed. You've got Oscar nominated and winning actors and actresses in it. You got Chiwetel Ejiofor, you've got Renate Reinsve in it, and it's blown up to this whole thing, and it's so wild when you look back on it. This started out as a photo on 4chan that someone commented under it, which is okay, when you get something from 4chan, right, Arturo, you're like, oh, I don't know, buddies, but
very skeptical anything on 4chan.
Yes, and the comment was basically just saying, imagine if you clipped through something in the world and ended up stuck in this liminal space. And Arturo, you know this better than I do because your kids play these kinds of games where it's they straight up go into it's a video game thing, right?
Legit. Yeah, it's 100% a video game thing. It's a video game aesthetic. There's no doubt about it. The kids go into these crazy liminal spaces, and when you're looking at this stuff, it all looks like empty space and they're not really doing anything, just looking around until something just attacks them. That's pretty much what we get here in this movie.
Yeah, it's that's the movie.
That's pretty much what we get here in this movie. But unfortunately, I have to say that I think this is better as a video game more than a movie. Yeah. The experience was quite interesting. Just off the bat, I really have to commend Kane Parsons, man. This kid knows what he's doing behind the camera. He surprised me with how good his eye is for certain things. He has a very nice polished look every time he's shooting something. There are certain shots that were questionable and unnecessary, but again, he's 20 years old doing this for the first time, and that alone is super impressive. And he stuck the landing when it came to the visuals and the aesthetic of this movie. This movie does kind of fall apart because of the story. And so he's not really responsible for that, which is something that, you can have under your belt for sure, because I'm curious to see if he has something in the future where he actually writes it, but he didn't write this at all. This one was written by Will Sudick, who has only TV shows under his belt. He has about 10 episodes of Ash versus Evil Dead. That's pretty much the most standout credit he has. And that kind of explains my thoughts and feelings about the movie, and we'll discuss that further in, but just straight up, the movie looks good, Tex.
Yeah.
But I feel that it could have been better, and we'll break that down right now, simply because when you get into this whole movie, I personally had no clue what to expect. I was not familiar with the Backrooms or any of that.
Right.
What I know about Backrooms and liminal spaces is because of my kids' video games and what they're playing. I had to do a little research on Backrooms and Kane Parsons to really understand what this atmosphere and environment is about. And it definitely translates on the big screen. Yes. But it's tough, man, because those have no narrative involved. It's not like you have a character and the plot there. There's no real story behind these games. It's just, hey, you're in this space, figure it out. That's literally what it is. And this movie, that's literally what this movie is as well. And it kind of suffers from being a video game with no premise, unfortunately. And that is kind of the big gripe that I have here. But there are some really good things in this movie. The visuals for one, the performances for another. And I think having those two at least at a nice bar up here definitely helped this movie get to the end. It helped me stay as engaged as possible because there were a lot of lulls in this movie. It felt like a slow burn the first like hour or so until it really started picking up. And I had a tough time kind of staying in there, Tex. I don't know about you. And on top of that, the theater kind of was feeling a little mixed too, which I was very attuned to because there was a whole row of kids in front of me, right? And I thought they would be Minecrafting it up, but they
Right.
really they weren't vocal. Like I'm not sure if they
Mm.
understood what was going
Mhm.
on. I'm not sure if it kind of went over their head because I get it. If you get to the end of this thing, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
what's happened here, right?
Yeah. It 1000% is that situation. Unfortunately, I do have to agree. Backrooms, it's a game that, it's a single player game kind of experience. And any of those liminal spaces, it's all like it's all point of view shots, basically just first person kind of point of view. If you played a game, you understand that like there's a lot of that in here. There's a lot of that perspective. It's through that VHS filter, which is like the big thing with kids now. Like it's funny, like the kids, for as much technology as there is these days, like the kids yearn for analog. Like they
Yes.
they want the experience of like physical media and analog, and they want to go to a dead mall when there's a weird empty space that people aren't in. Like this is what liminal spaces are. Like they want places. It's a little sad here because it's like, oh, these kids want a place to hang out, right? And
Yeah.
so they kind of imagine what a dead mall would be. But like and this is all to say, for us in our situation and the buddies at home who are like not children, presumably watching our review or following us on through podcast medias or anything like that, like this is basically saying, we already kind of know those experiences, and so when you get them, it's not really unique too. Like that's the thing. Like for as cool the idea is, like to see, like there are extended sequences where you see someone holding a camera and you see this through the VHS filter as they're exploring these backrooms areas. And while that's cool in a game because you're the one doing it, right? Like because in those games, you're walking through these back rooms yourself. You're like seeing creepy stuff and you're like, oh man, what's around this next corner? So when you're watching it, it already kind of adds that level of passivity like to it because you're not actively doing it, right? You're just
Yes.
you're like following along someone doing it. And so it's lacking that little bit of oomph. And for as impressive as the sequences are, I'm curious to where like CG animation kind of got introduced to it, because there's one particular sequence where they go in really deep and they're like different varieties of rooms, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, that would be the time to mask it. And I wouldn't blame them either, like because it's like, oh, they're impressive in the fact that they've built out all these sets. A lot of these backroom sets are impressive. Like that's the thing. Like visually, just as Arturo was saying, visually this thing looks great. Like right, like just getting into backrooms
Yeah.
details of like the stuff clipping through the floor, which you would see in a video game of like, oh, the chair's glitching and it's like halfway through.
Yeah, it looked cool. Like Tex mentioned, they legit built like 30,000 square feet of
Yeah.
backrooms on the set, reportedly. And there was also a report saying that it was so expansive that the crew even got lost at one point during the
Yeah.
filming of it.
That sounds a little bit like buttered up.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Of like,
reported. That's why I said reportedly. Yeah.
right, right.
But yeah, Tex, you're absolutely right. This thing, as I mentioned before, it was meant to be played, right? Where
Yes.
you have control of where you're going, of what you're seeing, of which rooms you're going to go inspect, and how far you're going to go. As a spectator in a movie theater, you lose that control completely.
Yes.
And you are at the mercy of wherever the camera wants to go. And
Yeah.
sometimes the camera is spending a lot of time in this space and it's very boring. I hate to say it like so
Yeah.
bluntly like that, but it does get rather boring and bogged down by this POV experience where you're just like, okay, cool, what else are we doing here, you know? And I feel if it weren't for the actors involved, this thing would have fallen completely flat on its face. But this is exactly why you get Chiwetel, right? This is why you get Renate, right? Because you need actors who are able to express a wide range of emotions in order to kind of work here, because they are doing all the heavy lifting. I mean, all of it, completely all of it. And it is a detriment because you can see that they're also not working with a lot, right? So it is
it's
very,
quite like it's minimalist, right? Like
yes,
it's
exactly.
purpose. You can like arguably that is intentional. Arguably it's like, okay, we just need enough to drive the characters into this space, and then because the main experience is going to be going through this space, right? But then you get the lore for like the Backrooms itself, which is like something people really hyped up from like the video game experience, kind of is like a little so like
Yeah.
it's cool in concept when it's like kind of laid out. It's very like theoretical kind of nonsense words, but like it does sound kind of cool of like, oh, this is just a thing that just will forever exist, and I don't think we'll ever see it. It's very like urban legend kind of backroomsy.
Yes.
Like it
Yes.
manages to get the urban legend vibe of like the Reddit threads and stuff.
It's
And
the creepypasta of it all, right?
yes, like it's able to put that into the story in terms of that. But then like you get hard looks at some things that are like developing, and there's like a mural in there, and you're like, it's kind of lame. And then you get like this you get like this science group that's like also experimenting on it and like trying to figure this out at the same time, and you're like, that's also kind of lame. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
weak. Like I
Yeah.
can't lie,
I definitely have to agree. And that's the problem here, Tex, that we got so stuck on the back rooms of it all that we forgot to inject some horror in this thing. This wasn't scary. I'm sorry, this wasn't scary.
Like
It
if
does it does have this like this creepy aura around the entire thing, right? Just like the actual games itself, where it has this like low hum to it, this very analog-y horror kind of score to
it's
it.
it's aesthetic horror, I guess, is
Yes.
what it'd be, right? Because
Yes.
that is a lot of new agey horror movies these days of like leaning more into like the aesthetic. And
Yeah,
thankfully
this is a very A24 movie, right?
like I mean, hate to put it that way, right? But you kind
Yeah.
of see why they picked this one up.
Yeah,
So
I'm like,
quickly.
this belongs right in your catalog, bro, because it's it's an artsy kind of horror. But again, it's not scary. It does have its moments of dread because the unknown, right? Because you have no idea what the hell's going on. But I wish they would have leaned more on the R rating. At times, I forgot this was rated R. And I'm like,
dude.
what are we doing here? You clearly have this monster figure in these rooms going around legit killing people. And we only see a little bit of the aftermath. It's not even like you see a lot. And I really needed them to amp that up a bit more, especially when it gets so slow, Tex, that you're like, yo, I need to hold on to something. Cause then when they leave the back rooms, I lose complete interest, dude. Like, like Mary, the therapist played by Renate, she has these flashbacks of her childhood and how things were and all that. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? And we spent too much time away from the back rooms, dude.
Yeah, what sucks is those are visually well done. There's like speaking in movie buff terms, right? Like there's a shot in the opening where it's like showing them and then like stuff gets dumped on top of them and like a cool cut. And I'm like, oh, it's the kind of opening shot that you're like, oh, okay, I can see why everyone's hyping up this young director. And there are other moments throughout this where you're like, oh, that's cool looking. And there is a lot of that. Like Arturo said, like the initial jump into the backrooms themselves, right? Like when Chiwetel is exploring this, he initially finds it and you're initially going through the space and then you hear the monster popping up and you're like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is like, you're like, I was also engaged, right? But then the story gets weird because, you know, you also don't care about his character's name's Clark. You also kind of don't care about Clark at all, really. Like, as he continues to explore,
try,
and then,
right? They try to
and then
make
it
you care for
jumps.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, it jumps too because it implies that he's been going in for like a long time, and then the next time we see him going in, he's already bringing in the other two characters, and then the stuff happens, right? And it's a little weak, and then when you finally get like okay, mini spoilers, full spoilers, whatever you want to consider, that there's a monster in here, right? Like, you know, I guess that's part of the thing too. Like, in some of these back rooms, it's like, like, okay, there's a monster in here, and when you get the monster reveal, it's cool on paper, cool idea because of the lore, and then like then it cuts away when it performs a kill on screen, and you're like, oh, that's
and then the version
weak,
we do get full frontal on screen is this reimagined pirate looking thing, which is the logo of Clark's, you know, Ottoman Empire store, right? I was so disappointed at that too, because it's like I definitely wish we had gotten this. I'd rather have gotten this creepy, just black figure that we see here and there through little peaks, right? But then we get like, I guess because it spent so much time with Clark in the back rooms that it just took on the form of this pirate mascot of his Ottoman store. It doesn't really hit. Yeah. At first you're like, oh, that's interesting. But then
it's interesting, right? Because
yes.
like the Backrooms is explained that like, you know, once again, spoilers for that, but like the Backroom is explained as like it just randomly remembers things from reality, and then they show up there different. And what like Arturo said, this is cool for a moment. You're like, okay, this is cool, and it does result in some cool looking designs when you actually get to look at them, because they're it's uncanny in that very internet way, and you'll notice it. It's kind of like AI too, which is kind of funny, because you remember when AI
it's like
first
AI
started,
brain rot kind of thing. Like when AI first started, you had like it couldn't really make faces properly, so it had like several eyes and noses and stuff, and like it's all very liminal aesthetic, as Tex was saying earlier, right?
Yes, it's aesthetic.
That's the thing with this. It's just kind of all aesthetic, you know. There's no real substance behind anything, honestly. And they try to make you understand and go deep with these characters, but these characters, as I said earlier, they're pulling teeth, man. It's because they're scraping by with the smallest amount of narrative given to them possible. And I think that could, besides the story being very weak and the script being weak, I think that could also be the inexperience of the direction given to the actors as well. But again, I'm not gonna lay on him too much about it, because he did a good job visually, and that comes along with experience. Like, you'll get better. I'm pretty sure he's gonna make something more awesome down the line. But I think the story betrayed him here. You know, I feel that the story was so subpar in comparison to the performances and the visuals that I was stuck not really hating it. I guess hate's such a strong word, but I was stuck really not liking my experience. I was time checking, like probably 30 minutes into it, an hour into it. I'm like, when is this going to pick up? When are we going to start getting like this crazy intense experience that all these kids are talking about when they speak about Backrooms? And that never shows up. Like, we get one scene where they're being chased, and that's kind of intense, but I needed more of that throughout the movie, especially because Clark goes in and out of that space so many times. A nice little montage would have been like nice to see him like just evolving his knowledge of this space, or like even mapping it out. You know what I mean? We don't see any of that. And it's just it falls. It skips it completely, and it falls flat. And it sucks because, as Tex mentioned earlier, there are several time jumps in this movie, and they're not really specified either. So you're like, okay, how much time have I been here? And at one point when Clark is in the back rooms, he's being chased by this monster thing, and he ultimately gets captured. But then, like, he's alive still. You know, I don't know how did he befriend this thing? Like, it seems like he has a relationship with the monster. And I'm like, what's going on here? So
Yeah,
it got
like
very confusing at a certain point, and I was
yeah,
very
full spoilers.
disengaged from it for sure.
Yeah, full spoilers. Like this is pretty much where it goes. You know, like it reaches that certain point of like it kind of just ends, and that's also part of it too, where it's like it's interesting because it has a good start in terms of like what you kind of hope the movie would be. You know, it's through a VHS filter, it's a guy exploring these rooms, and then the thing finds him, and you're like, oh, you know. And in my theater, like a kid screamed like as like when the thing showed up the first time. But that was the only reaction people had through this movie, like throughout the duration of the movie. Like, and by the time we get a full chase that you kind of hope for through the rest of the movie, we've already seen the monster in full. And by then it's kind of like, oh, you know, it's a cool idea on paper, but as a monster, it doesn't really fulfill anything. And the only kill we do get to see with it happens off screen. Like it cuts away for it when it happens. Yeah. And so once again, like Arturo was saying, you know, this Kane Parsons, where, you know, he's gonna be a big name regardless. This movie, like you know, if you haven't seen it opening weekend and you're like you're checking out a review hoping to like figure out whether or not you want to, it's already tracking like, what was it, 60 million or some kind of ridiculous number like that, like, which is a huge horror movie thing. But what a shame is that we also kind of have to hold it in that horror movie category.
Yeah.
There's just like we say all the time, scariness is subjective, but I think Arturo and I totally agree here in that, boy, does it not provide like what, you know, it's not what you want, right?
No, it's not. It's not what you want at all. And it's tracking for that kind of box office because of how famous the Backrooms lore is amongst the youth. That's who's gonna spend the money this weekend, the youth and people who have heard Backrooms and stuff like that. And honestly, dude, it's a big disappointment, especially in the month that we get Obsession. Again, we have to mention it because they are competing in the box office still. Obsession is still in theaters right now, and this thing just feels incomplete. And I don't think I was the only one who felt that way because, like I said earlier, the theater also felt a little disengaged. I didn't feel a lot of emotion coming out of anybody around me, and the theater was actually pretty packed, surprisingly, for an early show.
It's definitely a packed showing. It's packed theaters. And this is all to say, speaking of packed theaters, Arturo, here's how we do things at the Morgue, everybody. We've got pay for it, which is go to check it out right away. Go see it as soon as you can. There's wait for it, which is, you don't need to see it just yet. You can wait around to see it till it's more convenient. And then there's stay away from it, which is just stay away from it entirely. I'll start us off here on pay for it, wait for it, stay away from it. I'm at like a soft wait for it, kind of like I'm like floating around number wise. It's like floating around like a 5 or a 6, honestly, because it's the more we talk about it here, I think I'm gonna settle on a 5 number wise, like just right in that soft wait for it angle. It's just it just doesn't have enough to keep you engaged. It's just like hilariously, it's a perfect adaptation of the game stuff, and if that's what you want, good. Like, I'm glad you have it. This is a perfect, like, the kid knows this stuff by heart, and it is faithfully recreated and an awesome budget. If that's all you're looking for, more power to you. Enjoy. For me, with no connection to it, hey, I'm good. And with that being said, Arturo, how you feeling about Backrooms? Pay for it, wait for it, or stay away from it?
Yeah, just like you said, Tex, the more we spoke about it, the more the flaws popped out, especially the experience alone. Like, it matters. Being in a theater and not feeling any emotion coming out of anybody around you, just kind of confusion, really hits hard, especially for a horror fan, because you're expecting some kind of visceral reaction to certain things, some kind of excitement at least, and there was none of that. And that's a big detriment and a flaw. And I think the story really was the big hindrance here. As I mentioned, everything looked great, but the story definitely suffered. I am going to have to give this a wait for it as well. I'm sitting at about a 6 on this thing. And I do commend it because Kane Parsons does a very good job as a first time director with the visuals behind the camera, with all the intricacies that go into a production. The execution was on point. But again, the script really failed him this time around. And I really hope that he gets another chance with a better script to show more creativity. Like, let's get away from Backrooms. We understand it. We get it. You know,
Yeah.
we saw it on the big screen. It doesn't work. Okay.
No
The
sequels.
adaptation.
No
No
sequels.
sequels, no Backrooms is, you know what I mean? So it doesn't work. Okay. We just have to admit the fact that it doesn't work. It's better as a video game. I'm glad that he got to have the experience of having this big budget behind him from A24 and having, Chiwetel and Renate as these actors who are at the top of their game. Because if they weren't for that, like, this movie would have been very unwatchable, honestly. And that's where I'm standing with this thing. Wait for it. I don't feel like anyone should go out there and waste their money on this, because just go play the game. You'll probably be more immersed and feel more dread and horror playing the actual video game than you do paying for a ticket for this thing. And unfortunately, you know, that's it sucks. It really sucks because I had some high hopes for this, like at least with a decent story, that's the thing, dude. We got nothing out of this besides some visuals, dude.
And it's so weird too, Arturo, and that, like, the more we talk about this, the more we break it down, the more I'm also thinking, like, who is this for? Like,
Yes.
because you saw the tweens in your theater. I also saw, like, kids in my theater too. Like, they're there to be part of this this thing that they know and they love, right? Like, it's very, very Minecraft movie vibes of, like, the fact that they were so quiet and there's, like, nothing engaging them, and the story kind of too, like, it's a lot more of a downer, like, when you get to the characters and you would kind of hope for. And, like, one of the best scenes is like a scene at a table where it gets really creepy, and you're like, oh, this isn't, I guess, like, these kids are probably hoping for, like, the roller coaster ride aspect, right? Because when you play the game, you're strapped in and you're like, I'm here going through this haunted house, and, like, and the movie doesn't give you the haunted house effect the whole time.
No,
And
it
then
completely strays you away from the scary stuff. It's like, oh, that's scary. Let's turn around. That's scary. Let's turn around.
And then the only kills, like, that happened aren't really, like, R rating worthy either. So, like, it's kind of like, okay, so these tweens who go, like, see their first R-rated movie or whatever, and they're like, oh, let's go see Backrooms. This is gonna be awesome.
Listen,
like, I kind of feel bad for them too.
They'll have a better time watching Scary Movie 6 next week, right? Because,
and
like, as you mentioned, I think they expected something a lot more engaging because, as we said earlier in our review here, folks, when you're playing a video game, you have full control of your experience, of where your character goes, of what your character does or doesn't do. And here you were just like this omniscient spectator, that really couldn't control much. And it was a huge detriment to the movie. The story didn't help it out. It wasn't scary enough. For some reason, they gave this thing an R rating and they never really leaned into it. And I'm sorry for these kids who wanted to experience such a cool kind of zeitgeist in their generation, and they got, nothing for it.
And it sucks because they're not at that age where obsession would make sense to them, right? Like, they're not in the 20-year pocket of, like, that's the 20-year-old movie. Like, that's for the 20-year-olds, and so this is for this is the kids. Like, this is the tweens who are, like, sneaking into the R-rated movie.
But even the story doesn't lean into that generation. It's a very mature kind of story. The little bit we get is way over their heads, honestly. Even the ending, honestly, way over their heads. It went over my head a little bit, dude.
Yeah,
And I was
because
like, yeah, I'm good.
yeah, because it really does just end, right? And so, you know, we won't even get into that. Like this is like
It's not
if you
worth
want to
it.
see it cool, it's not worth it. But like if you want to see it cool, we're not going to spoil exactly how it ends, but
Yeah.
just know that it ends, right? Like
Yes, that's
it
right.
just
Just know that
does.
there is an ending there, and you might be confused just as we were. But
Yeah.
buddies, drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think about Backrooms, especially about the OG Backroom stuff. If you guys played the games and seen the old videos, let us know down below in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions about this, because it's going to be a very divisive topic, because this thing is meant for a certain generation, but I don't think they thought about that.
Yeah, like they didn't make it for them, certainly didn't.
Nope.
And they didn't make it
They
for
didn't make it
us.
for us either, Tex.
So so,
So yeah,
so who
drop a
did they
comment
make
down
this
below
for?
and let us
Yeah.
know what you guys thought about Backrooms. Thank you so much for listening and watching. This has been The Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. We are your hosts, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. A big shout out goes to you guys out there for listening and for watching. We see you guys. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell up there. That way you know when all these videos are dropping. A big shout out goes to Delvirus for all of the artwork you've seen throughout the years. And last but not least, buddies, it is a scary world out there, especially with these back rooms, but we are here to walk you through it.